One of the most controversial movies of 2014 stated that when human beings find comfortability in their habitat, they tend to procreate. But what do they do with their offsprings, and what becomes of them, and what kind of upbringing do those offsprings get? The truth is, on today's episode of the Internet Business Show, we're going to be talking about child upbringing, disruptive parenting, and we're going to look at the do's, the don'ts, and the lessons you as a parent watching from home is going to pick from this. My name is Amaka Omo, and this is DABA TV. You're watching the Internet Business Show. I have a guest in the studio. I'll go on a short break, and when I'm back, I'll bring her to your screens. Stay with me. You're welcome back from that short break. This is still DABA TV, and my name is Amaka Omo. Before I went on the short break, I believe you have a hint already of what we're talking about. Today we're discussing parenting. Today we're discussing child upbringing, and of course, a touch of mental health. Are you a parent at home looking at this right now? Is there something you need to learn from this? Draw your seats closer, sit back and relax, because you're about to get educated. With me in the studio is Amaka Omo Oikeh, a celebrity author, an inspirational speaker, a corporate teacher, a family lifestyle therapist, and the list goes on. But I just wouldn't take it too far. I would want her to do the introduction herself. So can we meet you?
All right. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here today. My name is Amaka Omo Oikeh. I'm a family life practitioner, mental health coach. I'm your go-to person once it has to do with everything family, right? I'm an author, like you will get later. My book last year got me the name The Celebrity Author.
Also,
so I'm rocking
I was going to talk about that. I was going to ask what the celebrity author is, you know. I mean, you should be hitting the likes of Oprah Winfrey, you know, and those kind of celebrity authors. I mean,
yes, and somehow she is one of my icons, global icons.
Oh,
She's someone I follow a lot because her head is working. Hello.
See, her head is working. I like the other part. Hello. All right, nice. So now we are looking at, from everything you talked about, is it right if we say that your niche is the family life niche?
Yes, I'm in the family life space.
Good. So how long have you been in this space?
Okay. Would I say I got into family life accidentally? Or as a kind of, you know, when you are in a relay and there's a transfer of baton.
Yeah.
Yes. But somehow I didn't even know. It wasn't intentional. I didn't know that, you know, like when you're in a relay, you would know that somebody's about to transfer the baton to you. But that wasn't my case because I was about 10, you know, when my mom on her deathbed looked at me, and she said, Amaka, take care of your siblings. And she breathed her last. So that's how I got into the family life space. And that's about 3 decades ago.
First off, I'm really sorry about the mom's incidents. I'm really sorry about that. Now, you talked about being just 10 years of age. Let's be precise.
Yes.
10 years of age.
Yes.
And then you had to take care of your younger siblings at the time. And so this must have given rise to your ability to, you know, go into this family life niche and know the in and out of it. Yeah. Okay, fine. Right now, are you now in a family space? When I mean family space, are you married?
Yes. Okay,
with kids?
I was, yes.
Okay.
So today, hello, big ups to my husband. I call him Your Excellency Oikeh. Today is our 13th year wedding anniversary.
Congratulations. Congratulations. If you're watching this, Mr. Omo Oikeh,
yes.
Your Excellency, congratulations on your 13th anniversary. Is that right? Congratulations. Fine.
We've been friends for about 16 years, but that's the gist for another.
Courtship was 3 years.
Is it courtship? No. Okay, a bit of that. A bit of that. We were actually colleagues in the office.
See?
All right.
You see, I'll be talking to my colleagues.
No, your case may not even be my case. You don't want to get in there, right? Because we were colleagues in the office, and if I had a friend who was one of the chikers around at the time, right? He came in from Germany one day, and it was this, my husband, that gave me money, tiffet, to go and see him. So there was no eyes to show the mind's construction on the face. It didn't look like anything was going to happen. In fact, it was not one of the 5. All right. But somehow events turned out, and here we are 13 years after.
So 13 years after and in the marriage. Has there been has the marriage been blessed with kids?
Yes. We have an award-winning 10-year-old author.
Oh, your daughter is an author too.
Yes.
She has a book to her name.
Yes.
Interesting.
They are so in 28th of this month, she'll be launching her book, The Amazing Kids. The Diary of the Amazing Kids. Sorry, it's not my book. I know my book. So she will know the title. However, the name is Diary of the Amazing Kids.
And she's just 10.
She's 10.
And at her age, you were already becoming
At her age, I was a sudden parent.
Interesting. Okay, now why we had to go through the background of knowing all that is it sets us up for this conversation officially, which is what we're going to give rise to the next question. Now, how easy was it raising your own child? What's your baby girl's name?
Zuriel.
So let's try to be specific. How easy was it, or is it, because it's still a process?
Yeah.
Raising Zuriel.
Okay. Normally life is about nurture and nature. So my experience or my experiences, especially my significant experiences, made me a mother even before Zuriel arrived. Okay, so I have a lot of proteges around me. Some of my proteges are CEOs as we speak. I started early. So some of my proteges are CEOs of companies that are doing well. It's not children company, right?
Yeah.
So some of my proteges are CEOs. In fact, I have people who I've mentored who are right now brand pastors. True. I won't mention the name.
True.
All right. So yes, that gave me a background. But what happened was that I began to pick my lessons. One of which is Zuriel is not me and is not any of my younger ones. So she's unique. She's different. She's a human being. She's on a purpose. She's on assignment.
Sorry to cut you.
Okay.
Now let's try to marry these two things together. Zuriel is not you, and she is not one of your siblings.
Yes.
But you are supposedly supposed to pick lessons from bringing up these persons, which is going to help you bring her up. So how do we marry both?
Okay, so what I did was that it's not just about her. I'm always learning. In fact, one of my coaches one day called me a training freak. Right? Once you are saying, once your head is working, I'm interested.
I'm beginning to feel afraid now. Let's take a pause. I'm afraid because in the 4 minutes or thereabout of this conversation, she has mentioned a working head more than 4 times. Let me ask, please, Mrs. Amaka Omo Oikeh, do you think my head is working?
I didn't even know that you were going to see.
Because I need to make sure that my head is working to have
if your head is not working, you cannot call me.
All right.
Because you're smart, right? Okay, so maybe that's my way of saying,
no, it's fine.
I just want I like to hang around an upwardly mobile people.
Good.
Right? So the lessons I picked from, being more like an orphan, even though I had an absentee father. My father was there, but
you couldn't
I grew up almost like an orphan. Why do I say that? Sometime in my SS2, my classmates had picked up a conversation and they were dragging and debating within themselves. No, Amaka is an orphan. No, it's the mother that died. Her father is still alive. Those kind of, teenager something. That's how one of them now summoned courage and said, sorry, Amaka, don't be angry. Are you an orphan? Right? So it was clear that if I had a father, he was not around. By the way, I was a scholarship student, right? So that's part of why, schooling continued. Yeah. All right. Okay. So that said, raising every child, I primarily believe after many years, because right now I am no longer that one who was trying to figure out what to do after the mother passed. I have the experience. I'm an NLP practitioner. NLP is neuro-linguistics programming, right? So I have knowledge now. I'm a US certified family life coach.
Oh, wow,
I also have a certification from Canada, right? So it's no longer trial and error.
This is your
Yeah,
niche.
this is me,
what you do.
right? And so in raising every child, you first of all want to accept the child as a human being. 1, 2, you need to also receive the child as a gift from God. Right? You and I are privileged stakeholders. We are not owners.
We're actually going to get there.
Yes.
We're actually going to get there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, I was going to ask this because we are specific about Zuriel right now.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Zuriel. Still on your daughter, what principles have guided her upbringing? Are there basic principles that you feel have guided her upbringing?
Yes. One of them is that we are contented.
Great.
Okay? We are contented. So if it's not yours, it's not yours. You could say, you could appreciate, you celebrate, because we celebrate a lot, right? But hey, if it's not yours, it's not yours. That's 1. 2, I have made her, or we have made her, my husband and I, we are growing her to know that there's a king.
Wow, interesting.
She's royalty. And so she's addressed as royalty. She's treated as a king. In fact, let me share this. In our immediate family, if my phone rings now, for instance, and it's somebody from my immediate family, you hear me say, Your Excellency.
Interesting.
Why? Why do we say Your Excellency? Because we are raising, there's a king in every kid. There's a champion in every child. We are raising a global icon, right? So you want her to get used to the royal space because royalty has a protocol.
You know, of everything you said, I find it interesting to know that you could actually impart contentment in a child in a generation we find ourselves now. And that is what is going to take us through to the next phase of this conversation we're having right now. We're going to take a short break. And when we're back, we're going to start talking about generational evolution, the stages of generational evolution, and we're going to look at some of the common mistakes that parents make and how they can deal with it. This is still DABA TV. You're watching the Internet Business Show. We'll be back after the short break.
Guess what? The new and improved DABA app helps you learn courses at the go. Now you can learn with ease, buy a course for a friend, use coupons, refer an N, and make money online. Remember, the future is in your hands. Download the DABA mobile application today.
It's been an interesting ride with Mrs. Amaka Omo Oikeh here at DABA Studios on the Internet Business Show. You are with Amaka Omo. And of course, we've had a swell time. Before we went to the short break, we've been talking about her family, how she got into the family life niche, and how she's been bringing up her own child, Zuriel. Now we're taking a shift to looking at a generational evolution. Now let's bring it out to this question. What role? First off, I want to explain what generational evolution is so that nobody's lost in this conversation. So generational evolution would be the change of generations after generations after generations. As we have currently, we are dealing with the Gen Zs and the Alpha
generation. Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know my generation. I just know I'm in a generation. So look
I think
at
you're a
me.
millennial.
I'm a millennial, right?
So.
I'm a millennial. So that is what generational evolution. So there has been an evolution of these generations over time.
Yes.
So the question now is, what role does generational evolution play in a child's upbringing?
That's a very critical question. Thank you very much for having me here once again. It's important that we understand the generations of the parent and the child.
Hold on. Sorry. You understand the generation of the parent
Yes.
and the child?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact,
fine.
you will understand, as a parent, you need to understand your own generation. You will understand the generation that raised you.
That is the generation of your own parents.
Your own parents.
Okay.
Right? And then you understand the generation of the child you're raising.
Okay.
So for some parents, millennials, most millennials, we have a combination of Generation Z and Generation Alpha. Right? Generation Alpha are the newest entrants into the different generations.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you don't understand that generation and intentionally unlearn and relearn, you are going to raise for the past. In fact, a lot of people are raising their children for the past. What do I mean? You are, for instance, you are in your 40s. You're a millennial. and you have a Generation Z or a Generation Alpha, and you do not understand your own generation, it means that the knowledge of parenting you will have is the one that your parents had. That one that your parents had were programmed into them by the generations after, before them. Right? So you're raising a 24th century Arabs kid for the 60s.
And that should have a lot to do with what that child turns out to be
Yes.
in the future.
So that's why a lot of parents are battling. You are fighting. You're calling them all kinds of names. Sorry, it's not about them. It's about the fact that you need to get the right knowledge. Okay? Because people are usually a product of their nature and their nurture. Their nature is who they are. Because I'm a person of faith, I know that there is a God in you. So in the scriptures, you'll find out that during creation, you see God breathing himself. When he said, after forming man, he breathed the breath of life. So he breathed godliness into the child, into humanity. And then we became a living soul, right? That's your nature. Your nurture is the environment.
The upbringing.
Yes, that raised you, that nurtured you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess this is like really clear. This sets the background for the remaining part of this conversation. Okay. Because the truth is, I can assure you, there are parents who are watching this right now that are learning this for the first time.
Yes.
You know, I was shocked to an extent when you said you have to understand the generation before you, the generation you are from, and the generation you're raising. Deeper than that, if you miss that point and you're raising a child based on how you were raised, it's also important to note that the generation you're even impacting in the child is the one that your parents took from their parents.
Yes.
So that is a lot of throwback.
That's backwardness. You're raising your child for the past. Meanwhile, you're supposed to be raising a child for the future. So you're supposed to raise this kid, this 2022, you're supposed to raise a child that will be a global icon in the next 20, 30, or 40 years. And then and be significant and relevant and get into a conversation and make sense. Right? Now you're disrupting the flow and you're battling with the child because you're trying to force the child to go backward beyond you to your grandparents' generation.
True. I know you are a parent right now. You're like you're in the hot seat and this is getting uncomfortable. Don't worry. That's why we're here. That is why Mrs. Amaka Omo is here. Now, this next question should help you, the parent, take down a little bit pressure. Now, the question is this. What is one general mistake or one common mistake that 21st century parents make a lot in parenting?
Okay.
It may not be one, maybe just a few if you can.
Yes, one of the most significant things is that an average 24th, I use average.
Yeah.
An average 21st century parent thinks that they turned out right. The question is, did you turn out right? So they will say, our parents beat us. Our parents did this. Our parents did that. They did the other one, and we turned out right. Hello, did you turn out right? Because if you turn out right, you will not be battling with mental health issues. If you turn out right, your choices will be different. If you turn out right, you will not be battling with getting the right knowledge.
True.
Okay? So the major thing is, one of the most critical things that you must accept first that you need help and go for the right knowledge. That way, you go for the right knowledge. In going through that right knowledge, you will first understand you, because a lot of parents don't even know who they are.
True.
They don't know who they are. They don't know their personality type. They don't, some of them don't even know where they are going.
You know, prior to this moment, we're having a conversation and then I talked about how do people even end up becoming parents? From where we are from, you know, it's of two reasons.
Yeah.
It's either you start becoming a parent out of wedlock or as a result of marriage.
Yes.
And one of the perks that comes with marriage is having children, and you know, and then people just feel like we can naturally grow into becoming parents. It's just a process. But from what you say now, it is important that there is a learning process before parenting, so that at the time the kid is coming, there is enough knowledge to, you know, take up that child and then deal with the child the right way. So if you're watching this now at home and then you feel you have gotten it all wrong, don't worry. That's why we've brought her to your screens. There is a lot of changes that can be made. So during the course of this conversation, I mentioned that you're an author, and then this is a point where we get to talk about your book, Disruptive Parenting. So I'm going to get the book now. Yeah, and this is the book, Disruptive Parenting. You can see by Amaka Omo Oikeh. Now, this book is very, 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 very rich and packed with a lot of knowledge. And I'm going to be making some references to this book now. And I'm going to refer to chapter 15 of this book. There's a part where you said something that I'll need you to throw more light on. Interestingly, this is what concerns everybody. That chapter says, ensure your kids do not recycle your mistakes, talking to the parents. And then on chapter 15, page 145, you used the expression, you are a privileged stakeholder.
Sure.
Quit claiming ownership. Could you throw more light on that?
Okay, so this is a very critical point, right? Like I was sharing previously, in creation, God has made man in his image and his likeness.
Sure.
So anybody who created anything, for instance, this is my book. It's my book. Okay? So anybody can use it to the extent the person bought it, or, and the person has to use my manual.
Yeah.
Okay? These cameras that we're using to record has manual, right? If you don't use the manual correctly, you will not get the best out of it.
Sure.
Okay? So your children first are created by God. God does not have grandchildren. Everybody that is created by God is God's child. God's son. We are all sons. Okay? We've been made kings and priests after our God. Hence, you and I are privileged stakeholders, right? God brought us into this. God committed these children into our hands. We are not owners. We are people who are trusted. Parenting is a trust. Now, when somebody has given you a trust, one thing that you must not do is to delegate that trust. A lot of parents are doing delegated parenting. Okay? So it's important that you understand that you are first answerable to God. And one primary thing you must focus on getting every child to know is that every child, within that space of 0 years to 18 years, you must help that child discover why they came. Okay.
And at that point, they can take that
Yes.
that baton you pass to them and use it for the rest of their life.
Because once find any man or woman who have discovered purpose, they are happy, they are excited, they are at the center of it. So everything they do is tailored that way. So it's not just about paying school fees in a class,
school and all that.
Choosing my friends' children are in XYZ school, so I have to send my children there. No, it's more than that. Is that the school where your children should be? In fact, you could have 3 children, right? And the 3 of them cannot be in the same school.
Word.
Why do I say that? If you live in Lagos or in this side of the world, parents send their children to school for convenience. So you can do school runs. If you live in Lagos with the traffic, you will just manage and go and drop them, or the school bus will come and pick them at once. So how can 3 school buses line up in front of your house?
Yeah.
But no, is that a very good school for one child may not be the good school for the other. All right? So you have to sit with the God who sent you the child and discover what the child was sent to do in your grooming. We're not saying make the child to become the lawyer you failed to become.
Yeah. A lot of parents, especially from our generation, made that mistake.
Yes.
And that's where you hear kids saying, yes, I'm a graduate, I went to school, that's for my parents. I did that for them.
Yes.
This is what
I've given them the certificate.
I've given them the certificate. It's true.
Yes.
You're very correct. So I think we get a clear picture of that now. There is even more responsibility placed upon us as parents.
As parents, yes.
When it comes to parenting, that we shouldn't take for granted.
Yes, it's a huge responsibility.
I was really interested, especially when you mentioned delegated parenting. A thing that most people do. I mean, it's a business for some also, at the end of the day.
Yes.
Let's take a look at somewhere else in this book. This is another interesting chapter, chapter 11. What caught me in the chapter, first off, was the title of the chapter. It says, favoritism a dangerous route in parenting? After going through that chapter, I came up with this question I would like you to throw more light on or give clarity to, where you talked about favoritism in parenting. Does it mean that if I have 3 kids, for example, I'm not allowed to say or to have a favorite child? Or is that not possible? Or what's wrong with that?
So, like I said, it's dangerous. If you are a parent on purpose, if you're intentional about raising each child, train up a child in the way he should go. That scripture didn't say train up children.
Train up a
child.
A child per time.
A child. So the purpose, that's what he was referring. There's a way. There's a purpose. There's a solution each child brought. So train him or her up in that way. When they become adults, they will sit at the center of that purpose and deliver it to their generation. All right? Now, you are dealing with parents who don't even understand their own purpose.
So how are they going to discover this?
And then what they're about, go to school, whichever school, graduate. You don't know, my child has 2 masters or 3 masters. That's what their focus is on. No. If you understand the purpose of each child, and let's assume that you have 3 children. If you understand the purpose for each child, and you groom each one of them, have you seen a man on purpose? They are too excited. They are happy. They're not competing. They are complementing. Okay? So when you understand, when you're grooming each child, and I would like to add this, that is what is supposed to determine the school the child will go to. Do you know that the purpose of each child and then your collective children is supposed to determine where you will live, the side of city where you will live?
True, I agree with you on that.
Right? So when you are now dealing with each one of them and they are on purpose, they won't fight. From my research, from my experience over the last almost 30 years, I have come to realize that siblings rivalry are rooted in parenting, bad parenting.
Now that's the word. Sibling rivalry is a product of parenting. And now not just parenting, but bad parenting. And if you don't take anything away from this conversation as a parent listening now or a parent to be, please kindly hold that strongly, as that's enough lesson to take away from this conversation. I've been having a swell time with you, and there is even more to talk about. Yeah. And I do not want us to go too far into discussing virtually everything in this book, Disruptive Parenting. Before we go deeper into this book, our next couple of questions would actually be around talking about how the internet have played a role, you know, in this whole niche, the career building, the family niche thing. And secondly, we are going to look at the business side of all this, you know.
I'll make some money.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I know a lot of persons who are really struggling with being creatives and monetizing their creativity. Yeah. So let's take that next step about the internet. What role has the internet played in this whole career that you've been pushing in impacting lives and changing, helping parents become better?
Okay, so thank you again. It's been an amazing moment here. The internet have come to stay. The IT world has come to stay.
Beautiful.
Okay, so there's nothing we can do about it. Let me chip this in. The Generation Z and Generation Alpha, they are the internet natives. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? You know your village, right? Even if you go to UK, US, wherever in the world and naturalize, whatever the word is, it cannot change the color of your skin. Mm-hmm. You know your father, even if you lied. Okay? That's how it is. It's their village, it's their work.
It's their heritage.
That's who they are. That's why you will take your phone and you think your phone is not working until a 7-year-old pick it and take you a snapshot. You're like, is that my phone?
Sorry, Amaka. I know a friend who's parenting a 2-year-old now knows his way around YouTube. and knows his way around his particular show on YouTube and knows the time the show comes up and the episodes you've seen before, I was amazed. Now, it's not far-fetched. It's not difficult to now say this is truly their heritage. At 2, they play with toy now. Do I even have toys?
No, you have toys. It's just your kind of toys.
My kind of... Come on, man. Come
Only
on.
one kind of toys, right? And it's not this type.
Not this type,
Their
actually.
toy, even their toys right now is IT.
IT toys,
It's
they're sophisticated.
information, it's all around knowing. Okay. So the internet had, for instance, in launching this book, it was launched online.
Oh, the book. Disruptive Parenting
was launched online. The research is easier because I still had to do a couple of research, right? The research is easier because I do that, with my phone or my system.
That still has to
right?
do with the internet.
So everything around the world that we live in is done online. We have Disruptive Parenting Academy. Disruptive Parenting Academy, we have not had one physical session since we started, right? It's online. Everything. And, we cannot not be online.
True. What happens at the academy, Disruptive Parenting Academy? What happens in that academy?
Okay, the Disruptive Parenting Academy is where we train parents to become consummate parents. And we train parent coaches to become highly paid parent coaches.
Oh, wow.
All right? Such that you will not say, there are people who have spent 5 years, 10 years, 20 years working with children. That some of them know the children more than their parents.
True.
Okay, so they have tools in their hands. You can actually help you package that, teach you the business of parenting, and monetizing your money, your knowledge, and all of those things. And then you too, many times, people sign up for the program and they think they're signing up to know how to deal with children. They first of all get delivered.
There's a level of self-actualization.
Yes, first of all, help your life because you cannot give what you don't have.
True.
All right. So we first of all run you through who you are, understanding whether you should even be in the space
At the first place.
All right. Then when you know who you are, and then another critical session is these different generations, understanding different generations. In fact, there's somebody who came to my class. That woman, I respect her a lot. Right? She's one of those people who I could refer to as my adopted mother.
Okay.
So I met her whilst I was in school, right? When she signed up for the class, it was humbling. Okay. But right now, she's a parent coach.
Oh, wow.
She's a parent coach. Meanwhile, she has a 22-year-old son. All right. So getting the right knowledge or having the right knowledge or having the right set of tools is not about your age. It's just about, if you don't know it, you don't know it. And if you don't know it, you'll be damaging your children. Why do we even take about disruptive parenting? There's a lot of the flow of negatives in the world where we live in right now. So wrongs have become rights. Somebody is in the office and says the truth and he gets a sack letter because he didn't sign to dupe or to cheat in one way or another.
True.
Right?
A lot of those happen.
So how do you raise a child to have integrity?
Even in a situation like that.
In a nation like ours. So we are helping you to disrupt that flow of negative and make sure that the champion in your child finds expression and the king in your kid finds expression, right? So all of that is what we do at the Disruptive Parenting Academy. It's a 30 days training, 30 sessions. Right now we have 30 sessions, all that's in that space. And one more thing, once you join the Disruptive Parenting Academy and you graduate, you'll find yourself in the midst of people of like mind. So once you're added on that group, is a group you have access to for life. All right, that's something that we also believe in that academy. It is re-engineering community parenting.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because there is no one human being that can raise a wholesome child.
True. It has to be a community.
It has to be a community. Now, we used to be, those days as children, when you have a child cannot lie or steal or do something, and another parent will see the child and keep quiet. No, they will rebuke. In fact, you will be afraid, because when the woman or man have finished beating you, they bring you to your father and your father will beat you. But right now, it's not my child though. Let them not say, oh. In fact, you can't even blame some of them, because there are schools. In fact, yesterday, was it this morning? I was having a conversation where you cannot rebuke a child in a school. Hello, these schools, they are stakeholders. There are some things they have to correct. You're not there. Boy, that's not what we are doing in our time. So we are raising that community of people that will watch out for you.
Even your own kids.
Watch out for you. And then that community, we are raising every child in that community. So you can stop by and drop a message and somebody will respond.
True.
Right? You can ask questions. You can be dealing with your teenager, and you know that time when you feel like you have gone bananas, you would this is what is going on right now. What do I do? And you have 2, 3, 4, 5 coaches who have gone through that experience, who will say, do like this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And then, you continue on your journey. Makes the journey easy, really. And that all of that is done online.
Interesting. That is the strength of over 30 years parenting, 30 years professionally in this niche and doing something. That's the strength of it. So if you find yourself into the disruptive parenting community, be rest assured that beyond getting professional help, you have yourself a community of experienced parents who are able to aid you where you find it very, very difficult. We're going to get to the part where you tell us exactly how to be part of the community and how else we're going to contact you. But for now, there is a business part to this. So more like asking, what is the, what can you show us the business side of all this, or how have you been able to monetize this process over the time? Okay,
so the business side of it is, first of all, you want to decide that you want to make money out of it.
Good.
Because there are people who want to do it for free, voluntarily. And even if you're doing it voluntarily, we would rather advise you to get what is what. Because I also do voluntary, right? Get what is what and say, this course is worth 50,000. However, I'm giving it to you for 25,000 for free, whatever. But our people, really, they don't value what they don't pay for.
No, humans in general.
Do you understand?
Need to attach value to that. Look,
yes.
let me, sorry to cut you. Let me say this now. This is an untapped niche. 2, a niche that a lot of persons have the problems but don't know. And 3, something that people naturally stumble into.
And they deny. Some of them deny that.
That's the truth. That's the truth. We were having a conversation now, and you mentioned that to understand real parenting, you need to first understand the generation that raised you, generation you're from, and the generation you're raising.
Yes.
And that took me aback a while, and I gave it a thought, really. If you observed, I stopped you a couple of times there to get clarity. Now, the reason is I was thinking on my foot, is it really true that I've been raised backwards? No. It's very possible.
Yes.
Now, let's take it. Growing up as kids, we did social studies, right? And they made us understand that social studies actually starts from the family.
Yes.
There's a family, there's a nuclear family, it is that family that extends to the community. So, if my parents raised me with the experience of their parent, that means I was raised backward. It's funny.
It's very true.
What is the truth?
It's fun. What is the truth?
If the parents of my neighbors did the same thing, and the neighbors of their neighbors in our millennial generation had the same experience, oh, little wonder Nigeria is the way it is.
Oh.
No, you get the point.
I don't want to get into Nigeria.
we must not go there.
Yes.
But the truth is, this is more like a food for thought.
Yes.
Think about it. Are you now ready to raise a generation of kids for the future?
For the future.
What does it require? They keep saying the world is a global village, is a global village. She made a very sweet and easy definition of a global village when she mentioned that the internet is a heritage of these kids. It is their village. So how are you using this opportunity to teach them, to help them learn? And the professional aspect of it is what you get in the disruptive parenting community. We really appreciate the light you have thrown on this. We really, this is like the point where I want to say a big thank you on behalf, in the voice of the parents who are watching this, but I'm unable to say it at the moment. It's a very great moment. Now, I would like to really know, could you please tell the audience how you can be found, how to be part of this disruptive parent community, also how to get this book? Now, let me say this now. This book is a must get for parents to be, and for every other person who is interested in family. Get this book right now. Get this book. Very, very important, Disruptive Parenting. So, you're going to tell us how to get this book first, how to be part of the Disruptive Parenting community, and how else we can contact you.
All right, so we have Disruptive Parenting Academy where the training go on.
Okay.
We also have the Disruptive Parenting WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Right, where you can drop questions, right? Where you can get it for free. Not all of them, but you can get one or here and there. You can ask a couple of questions.
Yeah.
And because of my commitment to children and to the next generation. Right, I would respond. Okay, but for you to get to do parenting right, you need the right knowledge. Okay, so to get into the Disruptive Parenting Academy, it's send me a message. First of all, follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all the platforms. My name is Amaka Omo. Okay. Right, so in all the platforms, click a like.
And if you have to follow, kindly follow. The name will be on the screen. Yes. Amaka Omo.
Amaka Omo, yeah. That's one. So the next one is getting the book. The book is only 5,000. It's cheap.
Yes, there's a book.
If you register for the Disruptive Parenting Academy, it comes. This is the manual for the academy. So the academy itself is 75,000. We are going to review in a moment. No dollar has gone up.
That's another angle to it.
Yes, but for now, that's our old price. Sincerely, that's the price from last year. Okay. But be sure that once you attend that academy, you will be glad, you'll be excited. We have incredible reviews. In fact, we have people in the industry giants. You know how you enter the industry? People who have written books before me. Man, Amaka, this is a movement. I didn't know you were the one that will start it. Okay. So I even I call myself privileged, right? Because, it would have been anybody else.
True.
If I wasn't the author of this book, I would buy it.
True.
That's the truth. Okay. And it's what the price on this right now is too small compared to what is what. And I'm telling you the truth. It's not because it's my book, it's because I know. Okay. So any of those platforms where you send me a message, a DM, and then it's okay to say my number.
Of course you can say your number.
07011535360. I take that again. 07011535360. One more time, 07011535360. Once you please send a WhatsApp message. Please. If you want a response, a quick response, send a WhatsApp message. All right? And then I also speak at conferences, at events, meetings. In fact, I speak for a living, so give me a call. Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that breakdown. Now you have the details. Follow her on all socials, Amaka Omo, Oikeh. And then WhatsApp should just call the number. You can contact, make inquiries how to be in the community, and further information on how to get this book will also be communicated to you. Thank you so much for coming. We have officially come to the end of this conversation.
It looks like they shouldn't end,
Interesting. It was an interesting ride.
Yeah, thank you very much.
However, there is also always a bonus part of this session.
Okay.
But today's one is going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
Because I arranged for some parents to send in some of their queries or questions. So they sent in 3 questions. I have 3 questions from people who are already parenting. Okay. And I'm going to ask those questions as the bonus questions. So this is more like speaking for the voice of a lot of other parents who are watching this, just to get a tip of the iceberg of the content here. So we'll go on this last break, and when we come back, we throw the bonus questions to Amaka, and she gives a response, and then we'll call it a day. Stay with me if you want to enjoy this last part. I'll be right back.
Guess what? The new and improved DABA app helps you learn courses at the go. Now you can learn with ease, buy a course for a friend, use coupons, refer an N, and make money online. Remember, the future is in your hands. Download the DABA mobile application today.
Yes, this is the last lap of the Internet Business Show. This week's episode has been interesting, it's been engaging, and it has been educating also. And so we're at that point where we had 3 parents sending their questions, and we're going to ask these questions to you out to Amaka right now, and she's going to give us the answer. So if you're listening right now, just take it that a caring parent, a concerned parent is also speaking your mind out there, and you might be affected by this. So this is the first question, Amaka. A parent is asking, he has 2 kids. Says, I have 2 kids, with the older one who bedwets, while the second doesn't. I would want to understand why the same approach to one isn't working on the other. So this parent has 2 kids.
Yeah.
The older one is bedwetting, which is not supposed to be. Even if there's been someone bedwetting, maybe the
The
younger
younger
one.
one.
But the younger one is not bedwetting. And there is an approach applied to both kids. It's working for the younger one. It's not working for the older one. Now the question is, I want to understand why the same approach to one isn't working to the other.
Beautiful question to whoever the parent that sent this. I know this is also going on in the mind of a lot of parents. One is that they are different. What's the parenting approach that will work for one will not work for the other. Why? They are not even the same people. They are on different assignments. After you have, understood that or accepted that, you will now know how old is this child. At what point did he or she begin to bedwet? Has she always, or has he always been on that bedwetting habit? Yes. Is it even a habit? Has he had that issue? All right. We don't want to narrow it down to be a habit
yet.
All right. It's possible that is battling low self-worth. That's 1. 2, if that child is not comfortable, is not happy, if the environment where you're raising that child is not healthy, it can be tensed, and that could drive that child. Okay. Another thing also is, does he have a regular sleeping time? Okay. Because it is the job of the parent to train the children, potty train the child. All right. And then there has to be a sleeping time. There has to be a waking up time. Okay. Then what approach have you used? Because if you are used to threatening the child or making that child feel inferior
Or worthless.
because they are bedwetting, you are compounding the issue. Okay. So what I will advise is, I'll first ask you a question. At what point did the child start bedwetting? You might need to see a therapist. Once an assessment is done, they will track you. They will tell you what happened. If you meet a good therapist and they run an assessment, the result of the assessment will tell you where whatever happened to the child happened. That bedwetting can be a symptom of or an attempted abuse or an abuse. Something happened somewhere. Somebody didn't do what they are supposed to do, or went beyond their boundaries. All right. So on a good day, yes, there's a medical side to it, but this is not the case here. Okay. If it's an adult that is bedwetting, then there may be a medical side to it. But this can just be a psychology thing and can be corrected.
Can be corrected as early as possible.
Yes.
Thank you very much for how detailed you were with the answer. So the second question from another parent is this: with the fast-paced tech-based world, how do we manage the recent generation's incessant demand? I agree to this question.
Yeah. Okay, so that is part of the characteristics of their generation. Okay, they are smart. They are Instagram children. They place the order on everything. So if you are in business, you must be ready to supply immediately. Your customer service must be top notch if you are going to be dealing with them. How do you manage? That is where you will teach them contentment. In your home, this may not even be a school matter, because a lot of things are not that are supposed to be in the curriculum of schools are not
there.
I call sometimes in the school system, well, you have what, if you read the Disruptive Parenting book, that you have what I called the accidental teacher. Accidental teachers are not in the school to groom your children. They are there because there's no job. They are frustrated themselves. So you can't expect them to raise you a wholesome child. They're not interested. They're there by accident. Okay? So what you must do is to take the responsibility. And if you throw everything even to the teachers, you're doing delegated parenting, which is also a sin.
Very, very wrong.
All right? So groom them, teach them, help them to learn self-control early in life.
And contentment.
Contentment. And then let them know their boundaries. Okay? There's another thing they must also, that's the place where I say parents obey yourself. One of the chapters in the book, right?
Obey yourself.
Parents obey yourself. If they know that if they mount that pressure, you will bow, they continue to mount it.
True. Kids are like that. I'll give you an illustration. There was this popular comedian who appeared on Instagram lately. It was funny, but it's a point and it's related to what we are saying. The child bought her a tab. A tab. Like, this is a tab that many kids don't have. You know, the kids'
adults don't even have.
The kid said, Daddy, this is not what I want. And the father said, manage it for now. That's what I can afford. He said, no, Daddy, this is not what I want. And the kid insisted. And the father said, okay, manage it. Soon I will change it for you. The kid insisted. You know what the father said? Come, let me tell you something. When your mother and I were cutting, you were not what we wanted. But we still kept you, you know. It was, the comic relief was,
yes.
I mean, but there was a point out of it. These kids can be demanding. Imagine having a tab that many persons don't have access to. It's doing the job. Probably it's not the size she wants. Maybe it's not the color she wants. Maybe not the brand she wants. Because now they know brands. They will tell you, I want this particular one.
Yeah.
You know? And it can be difficult because you as a parent from a millennial generation will be like, I can't fathom, I can't understand. You know, at least you have it. You should be fine with it.
No.
You know?
Okay, so that in itself, the approach that parent gave in that sketch was not also correct.
Of course, definitely.
Okay, because she's not your father's child.
Mm-hmm.
She's your father's grandchild, right? So it's not her problem that your father didn't buy tab for you. In fact, there was not even tab. There was no tab in your time, right? Telling her that this was not, you were not what we wanted, could damage a child's self-worth. All right. So what you will tell her or him is that this whatever is
Tab.
first. This tab is what I can have. That's what is available for now. All right. Okay. So let me tell you what I probably will do.
Okay. In a situation
like that, previously I would have had a conversation. Okay, to know, for instance, if it's a Zuriel who is about to launch her book, who probably will need a tab to run her business. Mm-hmm. Okay, I would have probably had a conversation
with
to
her,
know
is
it because she needs to be taking good pictures,
selfies,
good pictures, mm-hmm. to market her book, market her product, show up, do things and all that, or is it just because it's fun? Okay. If it's fun, I will collect the tab. Mm-hmm. For now, there is no tab. You can't die without tab now.
True.
All right. What do you even need tab for at that age? If you are not doing business or you're not running an online business, which a lot of kids are doing, what do you need to own a tab for? If you want to do lesson or whatever they send you from school, use my own. Okay. It's not. One thing that a lot of parents do not even know is that even though they are internet generation, there must be boundaries.
There is a lot of dangers. There
must be boundaries.
A lot of danger.
Okay, so you cannot buy a phone or buy that level of gadget just for fun. Mm-hmm. Why are you buying it? Does the child need you to make progress?
A purpose.
Or it's just because you want to show off? The answer belongs to you.
Interesting. So at this point, we're going to tackle the third and the last question. Okay. It says, what is your advice to new couples or expectant parents? Expectant parents.
Expectant parents. I want to say congratulations if you're listening to me or you're watching this show and you're single. You are of all men most blessed. All right? Because you're getting this knowledge as a single person. What you will do is to make sure you attend the academy and come with your spouse or spouse to be. Or somebody, when you are checking her, or before you say I do, boss, that's an academy that we both have to attend, because it is frustrating to have the right knowledge and your spouse doesn't have it.
True.
Okay? Especially in this side of the world. If you're a woman and you have the knowledge and your husband doesn't have it, they will preach you submit, even though you don't understand what you're submitting to.
True.
So before you say yes, I do, hello, get the right knowledge. All right? And then expectant parents gets the knowledge. At least buy the book. It will help your life. It will help you understand something, understand the journey, understand that, some of these things that we're talking about may not even come, sudden, may not come, doesn't come, it's not a walk through the park, right? So what you just know is that you are in a community of people who will help you, who you can always go because of the uniqueness of each child, all right? That you always run back to say, this is what is going on. How can I do this? How do I manage that? And so you don't damage your own child. Imagine, you don't want to wake up in another 20 years and see that you messed up your child. This book is meant to help you give your child a head start.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that. I know if other parents who are listening to this have the opportunity to, they'll send their questions and want it to be answered live. However, you have the connect to how to reach her personally and how to get on the Disruptive Parenting community. And there you can ask thousands of other questions that you want to ask. Thank you so much, Amaka Omo, Oikeh, for being with us today on DABA TV and talking parenting and how the internet has played a role. Thank you for also giving tips to parents out there who are watching this, and for also raising an amazing kid in the person of Zuriel. Hopefully Zuriel should be or appear on DABA TV one day. I mean, she's going to be an author at what age? 10?
10. She's launching a book on the 28th.
Definitely. Those are the kind of people we celebrate here on DABA TV. And the chances are likely that she's going to be with us here one day. We'd really love to meet her and see her in person. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Your Excellency, Mr. Omo.
Happy wedding anniversary!
It's really an amazing time. I've learned a lot. It's part of the bucket list now. Call your wife Excellency. Build royalty. That is it on the Internet Business Show today. My name is Amaka Omo. This is DABA TV. Until I come your way next week, keep learning, keep evolving, and keep being the best that you can be. Have fun and bye for now.
Discover amazing entrepreneurs with successful businesses and creating impacts on the Business Leader of the Week show every Saturday. The internet is not just a web, it is also an estate. Catch the exciting stories of people making money on the internet live on the Internet Business Show every Friday. Enjoy exciting and educating talks on tech and its future on Tech Gist every Wednesday. Enjoy global and local news in different languages on Tech News every Tuesday. Discover entrepreneurs making impacts and changing lives on the Top 5 Entrepreneurs every Thursday. Catch all of these exciting shows live on DABA TV.